Hey guys, a lot of my recent projects have been pushing the limits of my 486 DX266, so I figured it was about time that I went out and bought something a little faster. Allow me to introduce Elsa. She's a Pentium II 266 with 128 megs of memory. For the moment, she has an 850 meg IDE hard drive, but I'll probably be migrating to an 8 gig compact flash card in part 2 of this series. So as you can see, I'm doing an installation of Windows 98 2nd Edition. I've booted from the install floppy and pointed it to the CD-ROM. This footage is sped up by a factor of 10. The actual installation took a little over an hour. Now I know a lot of you have nostalgic feelings for Windows 98. Personally, to be honest, I'm really not a fan. Nor, for that matter, do I really like the Pentium II platform all that much. Now, at this point, you're probably asking yourself, then why the hell did you buy one? Well, as I mentioned earlier, I really needed something with a little bit more processing power. The 486 is great, but not for newer operating systems like this. Now, I found a lot of really nice low-end Pentium boards on eBay, but unfortunately the prices were comparable with the Pentium II. And in most cases, the Pentium II turned out to be the better buy. Now, I don't have anything against Pentium II from a technical perspective. It's a perfectly solid platform. No, my issue with Pentium II and Windows 98 is more of a personal matter. In the late 1990s, I worked for a computer company that would buy liquidations from other businesses. When a small to medium-sized business was upgrading their computers, we would swoop in and buy all of their old gear. We'd clean it up, wipe the hard drives, and resell what was still good, and anything that wasn't usable, we would simply strip it for parts. When I started in that job, frankly, it was something of a dream job. But toward the end, conditions changed, and it became more of a nightmare. Toward the end with the company, we were seeing primarily Pentium II, and as a result, I have a very negative association with the platform. I'm kind of hoping Elsa can help me fix that. So after that first reboot, we need to put in some information and accept the license agreement. I wonder if anyone who's not a lawyer has actually read that agreement. And of course, I'm going to block out that product key here. Remember, kids, don't copy that floppy. And once again, we need to reboot. Let's set our date and time and the time zone. And you notice it only shows a 2-digit date. I wonder if this is Y2K compliant. And reboot again. And there's that familiar hospital blue. It looks like we're stuck in 16 color mode, 640 by 480 resolution. Yeah, let's fix that right off the top. I'll bring up our display settings. Now, until I get my AGP video card, the best we can do is 800 by 600 with 256 colors. And look at that, we need to reboot. Now I have a Realtek 8139 PCI network card in the system. I've already gone ahead and installed a driver, but I'm not able to connect to the network yet. So I'm going to try installing a newer version of the network card driver. Let's take a look in Device Manager first. Yeah, according to Windows, that network card is working properly. But I'm going to try installing this driver regardless. Okay, looking at the dates, this may actually be an older driver. But no matter. And of course, we need to reboot yet again. And let's see if that resolved our issue. No, that should have worked pretty much right away. Pop back into Device Manager and look at our card. Windows indicates everything is okay with the card. Let's go into Control Panel and bring up Network. See if there's any indications there. No, I don't appear to have a gateway. May not be necessary here, but I'm going to add one just in case. And let's bring up WinIP CFG. No, we're not getting an IP address. If I try a renew, that simply times out as well. Okay, let's check the card itself. Okay, I think I see our issue. We don't appear to have a link light on the card. I'm going to try reseating that cable. Okay, now I've got a link light. Let's try a renew. That's better. Okay, yep, we're getting an IP address now. I'll probably have to spray some deoxit in that port. Yeah, these are 20-year-old network cards. There's probably some gunk in there. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know I'm really not a fan of dynamic IPs. I'm going to set that back to a static IP. And when I apply that info, hit OK, we need to reboot. So we're back up and running. And yes, indeed, we've got the oldnet.com. Since we're looking at Windows 98, let's actually bring up the Microsoft website from 98. And if we're lucky, maybe we can see something about the release of Windows 98. Okay, no, unfortunately not. But interesting nonetheless. So let's bring up Outlook Express. We'll take a look at a mail configuration and send an email. As per usual, I've set up the email account for Annika. And she's connecting to my Jasmine email server running FreeBSD. And we've got our pop3.jasmine.local and our smtp.jasmine.local as the incoming and outgoing mail servers. So let's send an email from Annika to Scott. It's going to scott@jasmine.local. Now, I've mentioned this email server before. Drop a comment down below. Would any of you be interested in seeing the email server configuration? But for now, let's close out Outlook Express, and we'll bring up Netscape. Netscape is set to use Jasmine as the home page. These are some of the driver packages that I had to install for Windows 98. Okay, so let's bring up Netscape Mail. We'll take a look at the configuration of that client. Now on Netscape, I've configured the account for Scott. Once again, you can see our POP3 and SMTP servers. And if I hit Get Messages, I should have an email. And there we go. There's the email from Annika. So we'll just reply to that. And of course, we get the warning that this client may not understand HTML email. A lot of really old email clients could only handle plain text. We talked about Pine in one of my Solaris videos. I don't think Pine would understand HTML terribly well. Now this 850 meg IDE drive is really too small for Windows 98. I have the operating system on here, but beyond that, there's really no room to do much of anything else. So in part 2, I'm going to migrate to this 8 gig compact flash card. Now I've never tried a compact flash card this large, and quite frankly, I don't even know if this card works yet. So this should be an interesting challenge. If you enjoyed this one, please feel free to like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and, as always, thanks for watching.